I missed our staff meeting this week, and when I returned, they told me, Father, it's going to be a very busy weekend. There are 8 things that will happen in this weekend's liturgy. I said, I don't know how I will remember them all, so I had to make a list. So here we go. Number 1 was baptism. Well, they didn't show this morning, so there, that one's done. Number 2, the pledges for stewardship. As you see the envelopes on the end of the pews, if you could take those for a moment. You recall last week, maybe you weren't here, but I gave the report, the annual report of all the time and talent and treasure that has been given to our church, and then the financial status of our parish. So today I would ask you to take a few moments to sign in on the envelope and to make your pledge. Hopefully you've had a chance to kind of reflect and pray about it. It is, I think, kind of easy to just sit in the pew and maybe throw in $1 or 2, but really the pledge is an important part of your stewardship, and it's really almost more for you, because by putting down an amount, we tend to do it. We tend to follow it. It's a way of maybe pushing yourself so that you can be can return to God, at least a share of what you have been given. So I encourage you to push yourself a bit and put a number down that will really be an appropriate gift for you to St. John's Parish. It is truly what keeps us going financially. We will walk those up a little bit later. Number 3, commissioning of new Eucharistic ministers. Are any new Eucharistic ministers here today? Come up, please. You were warned about this, weren't you? Maybe not. Oh, well, sorry. But we'll commission you anyhow. Our sister from this parish family is to be entrusted with administering the Eucharist, with taking communion to the sick and giving Eucharist as viaticum to the dying. In this ministry, be an example of Christian living and faith and conduct. Strive to grow in holiness through this sacrament of unity and love. As minister of Holy Communion, be especially observant of the Lord's command to love your neighbor. When you give his body and blood to his disciples, then, as Jesus said, this is my commandment, that you should love one another as I have loved you. So, are you resolved to undertake the office of giving the body and blood of the Lord to your brothers and sisters, and so serve the build of the church? Are you resolved to administer the Holy Eucharist with the utmost care and reverence? So, merciful Father, creator and guide of our family, of your family, bless this woman. May she faithfully give the bread of life and the cup of salvation to your people, strengthened by the sacraments. May they come at last to the banquet of heaven. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Congratulations. Number 4, we're up to. Moving right along. This is Generations of Faith week. And so, as you know, we are studying how to live well this year and our symbolic well. So we have studied to this point how to manage household life and how to celebrate life. The third week is this one. And the topics that we will be discussing this week are, what do we as Catholic households really hunger for? And what do you think a meal and feeding people was so important? Why do you think a meal and feeding people was so important to Jesus? And 3, what skills can we learn to use to enrich our mealtime experience. So obviously, what we're talking about this week is how we eat. We don't have a shingle, but it's the theme this week is eating well. It's a good topic for us probably at this time of the year because we approach Thanksgiving and the holidays. We have lots of food in our life. And continually it gets to be more an issue how we eat well. We have a couple of speakers, one on each night, that really are, I think, very exciting, and I think we'll have something to say to us about how we eat. And then to tie it really to our sharing of the Eucharist and how we eat in our faith. So please come Tuesday night, 4:30. We'll have a nicer meal than normal. And 5:30 Wednesday night, Sister Repeat. So I encourage you to come and learn with us on how to eat well. So number 5, homily, it says. Oh. It went down the road a ways there, didn't it, before we got to homily? Well, I was reflecting on those readings. There was a phrase in that first reading, I don't know if you caught it, it talked about unsurpassed distress present in the world. It was describing a time of great distress. And the signs that were all around that seemed to predict disaster. I wonder if in our lives, we've probably all been to that place where it seems it is unsurpassed in the distress of our lives. We have so many things that come at us day in and day out. And how is it that we live in the midst of that stress? It's like today we have 8 things here. You know, I wonder if it's the ability to focus on the one before us is really the key. I gave that example in the Gospel of the fig tree branch. Pretty something that you wouldn't normally notice. And yet, when you look at it and watch its growth, and you see the signs of the times, that it is summer. Maybe that's the key for us, that we stay with the one event before us now and recognize that in it we can see the movement of Jesus in our lives at this time. That's really all it's asked. That as a people of faith we continue to trust that Jesus is in all parts of our life. And it's best, really, when we have to focus at only one thing. Because if we look at the big picture and see all the things that are before us and all the things that are pressing for our attention, we become overwhelmed and we know not where to go. So maybe today, this coming week, we can just try that, to stay centered on the one issue before us at any given time. To give our attention, our love, all that we have to that moment. And then really, I believe often we begin to recognize how Jesus is moving in us, even in all those things that come to our doorstep. Number 6. We'll do that a little bit later. Please stand.